Well, it is game week to Oklahoma State. West Virginia heading to Stillwater. So that makes it time for me to do a keys and questions video about Oklahoma State. And this time I'm going to hope that the autofocus on the camera does not go on strike halfway through. We can always hope. Do have a couple of things before I get to the usual spiel. Some issues going on with the channel, some good, some bad. But first of all, I hope you've noticed the new logo, which was designed for me by a friend of the channel. I'm really happy with it. I hope you are. Meanwhile, YouTube seems to be, their algorithm really does not like the channel lately. I know some of the other channels have been having issues, but we're having trouble on some of them getting over 50 views, so that's a problem. And Monday night, YouTube actually deleted the entire channel on the grounds of spam, scams, and deceptive practices. Well, of course, I did send in a little polite disagreement, and the same computer system that took it down said, "Oh gosh, there are no problems here," and put it back up. But something seems to be going on, so I could really use extra help in terms of that whole click the thumbs up thing, the notification bell, making comments, share and subscribe, all of that. But also, if people watched a little bit more of the video, even if you turn the sound off and let it play in the background, the percentage viewed is a big thing for YouTube deciding whether or not to show the or at least recommend the video to more people. Of course, that's because, hey, if people are watching enough of the video, they can put more ads in. I apologize for that part, but I can't control that. And I sure don't get any money off of any ads. Anyway, thanks for that. And I will say, you hope some of you already know this is WVU football going deep. I am Forrest Poston. I do not guarantee that at the moment. Even beyond the whole YouTube deal, it has been a very strange, hectic several days. So I am more scattered than usual. And I think my brain ran away from home. I'm not sure if it's coming back or not. But I am going to be talking about WVU football. Yeah, I'm going to be talking. You know that. Going straight to the big deal on everybody's minds, and that is pass defense. Notice I did not say defensive backs, because there's more to it. Which those of you, the few, the proud, the insane, who watched the season to date series already know some of this, or at least know my opinion on it. Really, all three levels are to some degree involved in the issues with pass defense. Now, the front six, the three down linemen, linebackers, and spur, have largely done well. They're getting pressure when they try to get pressure. The problem there has been containment. Quarterbacks have been getting out of the pocket and either big runs or time to throw downfield. That's often, because, they do, really run some of these, loops way to the outside. And if the defensive lineman doesn't get far enough outside or doesn't get there fast enough, well, the door is open. Now, Bowman is not as fast as some of the guys the team has played, but he can, move around given the chance. So we can't give him the chance. Now their passing game is a quick game, so sacks are unlikely, but they have to get enough pressure to alter Bowman's game. And that is definitely possible. Now, with the linebackers and, the spur as well, sometimes, they have to get to their landmarks and they have to get there quickly. That means getting deep enough. That means getting in the passing lane. Of course, that's if they're not blitzing. But that has been an issue, and every player has said so. Now, we do get Carrico back, and he has, at least, on paper, been our best cover linebacker. How much he will play and how much difference that will make, well, that's one of the questions. Or I guess that's two of the questions. But it does, give us a better chance of controlling the short, intermediate, over-the-middle passes. And we really should be controlling that area. We've got linebackers who can do it. And, again, that's the question, why some of these guys are not doing things that many of them have been around long enough to show that they already know how to do. But something's not quite clicking this year. Now, of course, Lathan, coming back from injury, seems to be picking up speed. That should also make a difference. And the defensive backs have to cover, particularly corners. Safeties, Anthony Wilson has consistently been above average. His cover has been about average, but that makes it better than the rest of the defensive backs, or most of them. Gallagher has graded out well, but that's limited playing time. He sucked against Penn State, but that was his first game. But and he didn't play defense against Kansas. So we'll have to see what difference that makes. Crandall started or played a lot against Kansas. He wasn't doing great, but he was doing better than some of the others had done, and then he got injured. May not be back for this game. Burks, it does seem, will be back. He has been in practice. He just has to step up from being pretty good to being good enough to match his press, or at least get close. I don't know if you can play well enough to match the press he's gotten, but he does need to step up his game, and surprisingly, particularly his rush game. He hasn't seemed to do all that well. But we have guys with ability, with a little bit of luck. The time off will have been enough for things to click. It really just it almost has to be a mental thing. Now, of course, I don't know that, but everything I can figure with what things I have ever learned in my lifetime, it seems to be a mental thing. Of course, mental mistakes can turn into mental blocks, and mental blocks can be difficult to knock down, but that's what they gotta do. So we will see how that all comes together against Oklahoma State, who has been passing a lot. Ollie Gordon will get yardage, particularly if they emphasize pass defense. Gordon will get more yards. It is a matter of containment. We have to limit the yards Gordon gets. We have to limit the passing yards, and hopefully turnovers. Now, before I go to offense, I'm going to take a short trip to special teams. Not a lot there. Ollie Straw has had a couple of bad punts, and it's not really sure why. But he's good. that should come together. Coverage teams have been generally good. The problem has been kickoff return. And some of it's probably blocking, and I don't know who's on kickoff return. There may be a number of young guys there, but mostly Ray does not seem to have quite the confidence that a kick returner needs. Because kickoff return is mostly catch the ball and fly. You know where the return is supposed to be set up, but most of it is just trying to burn. And Ray really looks like he's waiting for things to develop. He's running, but he doesn't seem to be running as full out as he needs to. I mean, it is one of those things where you have to be more than a little nuts. And I don't know, maybe he's just not crazy enough. They tried a number of people there during camp. Don't know that anybody will suddenly step up at this point. But hey, maybe Ray just, again, finds that mindset and goes. Yeah. Don't get a lot of chances, and hopefully, the goal is to only get one kickoff, either at the beginning of the game or the beginning of the second half. But you got to take advantage of the ones you get. Offense. Two things there. The running game has to be more consistently good. And that doesn't seem to be about the line so much. There are some deficiencies on the line, places it's not good enough yet, but the line, according to PFF, grades out pretty well. The, run blocking by the receivers hasn't been good, and it needs to be. It cost us an important, big gain against Pitt late in the game, and the difference between a, no gain, decent gain, long gain is often wide receiver blocking, whether it's, a crackback at the line of scrimmage or a downfield block. But the runners are getting some opportunity, but a key block from wide receivers isn't coming. That has to fit. Now, Clement did grade significantly better in the Kansas game. Now, blocking early in his career was an issue. He was improving on that last year. Kind of seems to have dropped a bit this year. Got to get that focus back. And of course, he is a redshirt sophomore. Ray and Gallagher are, sophomores. We're dealing with a lot of young guys. Justin Robinson has been the best blocking wide receiver on the runs when he's in there. Don't think he will play. He has an injury that has not been specified, but he has. What I heard, he hasn't practiced this week, so likely won't play. But really, the wide receivers, I think, are the key to the running game taking that next step. And to a certain degree, the running backs, they haven't all. Donaldson seems to have made better, faster decisions than White and hasn't fumbled. And White has just sucked rocks in pass protection, so that's an issue. The other thing on offense, and it's a subject that's been talked about a lot, as you may have noticed happens a lot. My perspective on it is different, and that is Garrett Greene. In my opinion, Garrett Greene needs to gel, which I know sounds weird for one person to gel, but right now Garrett Greene is two people trying to become one. A lot of people, or some people, have been saying, they want the Greene from last year. No, that Greene had issues. His highs were great, but man, his trouble with short throws and the touch passes, they cost us points a lot. We scored a lot of points, but that cost us a lot of points, and likely games. And that Garrett Greene would not win enough games this year. And that was clear. I mean, hey, he had to improve short and intermediate passes, had to improve touch, had to improve footwork and some other things. He is throwing receivers open. He's throwing so they can keep running. That was critical. That was one of the things that won the Kansas game, enabling the receivers to just keep going. He's hitting about 78% from behind the line of scrimmage, where he's actually 100%. To 9 yards downfield, he's hitting about 78%. But with all the things he learned, his decisions now are a little more complicated than they were, and he's trying to process more information, and he's not fast enough at it yet. And this is a typical learning thing. You get good at something new, you tend to lose a bit off of what you were good at before until you gel, until you bring that all together so that the past person, present person, just isn't fully integrated. One result is, he's also passing better the intermediate and deep passes down the middle. People said he couldn't go over the middle. They were wrong. But decisions on when to pass, when to hand off, when to run, who to pass to, he's a little slower on those than he used to be. That needs to come together. When he gels, how well he gels, will determine West Virginia's season, or it'll be one of the things that determines it. So, we better hope he does it rather than hoping for a return to previous form. And it also determines, Greene's professional football future. So we need to wish him well in that regard. It sucks rocks, but this is just part of the process. And I do think, I think it will come together quite possibly with a significant step this week. I hope. But here's the summary then. Defense, we got to get pass defense front to back consistently good. Special teams, Traylon Ray or somebody has to have the confidence to just cut loose and burn upfield. And on the offensive side, wide receivers have to block. Garrett Greene has to gel. Okay, I will be doing a post-game live broadcast as soon as I can get online after the game ends. And I may be doing another video before the game. I don't know. I was going to do about Garrett Greene needing to gel, but I just did that. So please subscribe, share, tell your friends, click thumbs up, click the notification bell, make comments, and let the video play. Of course, if you're hearing this, you already let the video play. And many, many thanks to those who do. I'll be talking to you later. So long.